They come back most of the time to see if they can. If you are accessible. A lot of people like to have access to you, but they don't really care. Look, I know it's tempting. I know a part of you wants to go back. You're thinking about them, what they represent, because usually that's what it is. Yeah, we remember people for what they represented to us. Or, like you're saying, their potential that most of the time we never even got a chance to witness. And sometimes it's only the best that we remember, how it was at the beginning when you just met. But sometimes it's also the worst, the difficulties, the reason you might feel so strongly about them. And you deserve better. I know it's tempting to go back, and I know sometimes we don't feel like we have all of the perspective needed to understand our worth, but it is so important that you trust your life, your decisions, and that you stay at peace with them. Yeah, it's definitely a way to honor yourself, to respect your choices, but it's also a way for you to walk in the storm that is life and be your own rock. Understand that the decisions you make can hurt, especially when they're the right one for you and your growth. It's okay sometimes to feel like you've given someone everything you could and they gave you everything they could. When we're not growing, nurturing, helping each other, sometimes it is best to let life guide you to your next growing experience. No, it's not always going to be a relationship, or else we would be serial daters, but sometimes it's bad news at work. It can also be difficult family situations where we have to stay strong. I know, it's tiring sometimes. But when you trust that you make the right decisions according to your gut feeling and your judgment, you're always walking in truth, even in the instances where it hurts, you know. I know. And a part of you gotta be confident and okay, even when people make you feel or think like you are not seeing what's right for you. They come back most of the time to see if they can. If you are accessible. A lot of people like to have access to you, but they don't really care. And that's not just you, that's everyone. It's more of a personal ego trip than a real desire to build something, to give a part of who you are and who they are. And that's really what it is. It's giving a part of yourself. And how many parts of yourself have you gave up for almost nothing? How many parts of yourself are you still picking up from the ground and trying to glue together? And sometimes it drops and you do the best that you can to keep a straight face and keep going. Something slips, you have a trigger, you feel triggered. Something reminds you of that time where you were treated poorly, and you have to deal with that for the rest of your life. And those are invisible challenges for people around you. And that's why I'm saying it's important that you protect yourself. Don't block yourself out. But given the opportunity, always ask yourself, what am I giving myself away for? Is this person worthy, based on their actions, to have access to a part of me that is fragile? And I'm not saying weak. I'm not saying that you're a weakling or you're weak or you're not strong enough. You've just met a bunch of people that didn't know how to treat you. And I understand you're tempted to go back. When you texted me about it, I wanted to talk to you and let you know face to face, because it's hard to text you these things. It's a lot of words, and I want to make sure that you understand my tone and the real message behind it, which is you've been going through a lot. And are you actually ready to go back into a situation where you've seen the result? The lack of sleep, doubting yourself, trying to teach people how to treat you, trying to communicate your needs and feeling like you're asking for too much, giving things in hopes of receiving them, teaching people how to care for you and how to treat you. A situation in which flow doesn't seem to exist, and you are trying to prove to yourself that you can fix it. Maybe it's because you don't communicate well enough. You're so quick to blame yourself. A lot of people aren't cool. A lot of people aren't nice. A lot of people don't have your best interest at heart. So start treating people accordingly. And when you go back into something, make sure you understand what has changed. What is different with actions. And if it's not a good feeling in your stomach, I don't think we feel a lot in the stomach to begin, but you know these gut feelings, like down your gut. If it's not good, nothing you will do will ever it is not good to begin. I know it sucks to hear. And what's trying to be communicated to you in these instances is your aura, your sixth sense, your magnetic, energetical field around you that is guiding you through life and showing you who's for you and who's not. And when you have that sinking feeling, you can fight it, you can try to make it something else, but nothing will change it. And don't worry about time. Don't worry about how much time you spent, how much time you lost. Oh, Lord. As if you lost anything. As if you weren't in an experience for the sake of being in one. At that time, you thought it was the best option possible for you. You did the best that you could. And I'm proud of you for that. But don't get sucked into this mindset of, well, I wasted my time. I wasted their time. I can never have that time back. While that's true, and I can understand how it feels, you deserve more compassion. You spent your time that way. Let's make sure that you don't spend more of it moving forward in a direction that leads to self-guilt, self-hate, and much more. Your superpower is to understand that what's meant for you will always be meant for you. And the fight that you're having with yourself for the pride of making something work that was never meant to work to begin with has no prize, has no reward at the end of it. There's nothing to win. So how could you lose time? How can you win time? By not going back. Give yourself a favor and take some time for yourself. Real time for yourself. It's time for you to be selfish. It's time for you to be the loving partner that you deserve and that you have somewhere, but that just hasn't manifested in your life yet. But don't worry. You don't have to think about it. There's nothing for you to do. You've done the work. Especially if you focus on yourself. Focus on what makes you happy and let them go. You both have given to each other everything you needed to give. Let's respect that and allow both of you to grow more. And while it will be hard sometimes, I'm sure, you will find a lot of power in the strength you'll build. And one day, it will all make sense. And the best part is that you can't even imagine how good it's going to be for you. But you have to trust the process. You're like on on an edge, your future is on another edge, and you are trying to jump. You are trying to, I don't know, doing something crazy, fly. When in reality, you have to build a bridge so that you can pass. And it's not a cheap bridge. It's not a bridge made of paper, or else you're gonna fall and feel even worse. It got to be with good materials. And so for that reason, it's gonna take time. So even when you feel like time is passing you by, or you've wasted time, you've just been building your bridge. Accept your story as it is, and forgive yourself for not knowing better in times where you truly didn't. But now you know. Now you know that it's time to level up a little bit. And that's why I know it's hard. And I know you want to go back.